What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wild Rift University. I'm Thing1, and today we have an excellent video for you today. We're going to be breaking down my friend Soul's video. And just to give you guys a little bit of background on Soul, who's actually my first friend in Wild Rift, and just so happened to turn out to end up being a player basically just as good as me, and sometimes I wonder if he's even better than me. Soul is one of the very few players I know who has solo climb to Grandmaster every single season. Most kids I know either need to play with at least duo, trio, or 5-man. Soul has consistently solo climbed to Grandmaster, 6 KDA every season. He can play all roles, but mid is definitely his best lane. Really, really good player. And so he had this video on Yone today. And actually, this video is from the first week of the reset, and he is currently diamond, or not currently. Now he's like, I think he's master or grandmaster now. I'm not sure. But during the first week of the reset, he made it all the way up to diamond 1. So I want to go ahead and break down these lanes real fast, and we'll just kind of go through this together. And what I'm looking for and what I'm going to see, this is going to be a really exciting game, guys. So watch through the whole video, like, subscribe if you've never been here. We basically go over, we do video breakdowns, and then I break down my own gameplay, talking about the micro, macro aspects of the game, how to improve. If you're really wanting to get better at Wild Rift, this is actually how you do it. The stuff that I teach you in my videos is actually how you get better. You're not going to get better by watch me own people videos, videos of people saying, look at this new combo, this new OP build. Those things are helpful and they're meaningful and they do have a place, but it's really the decision making and map awareness that makes you better at the game. Because the truth of the matter is, the individual champion skill that a person actually has with a champion, it's not really a big difference between Diamond 4 all the way up to Challenger. It's the way they decide to do things. And so Soul's video here is going to be a great way to show you like how somebody, one of the top ranked players, actually decides to do things. So the mid lane, we'll just start here. I expect Brand to win this out. Really, at the beginning, Brand is just a hyper bully. The Yone can, as long as he utilizes like his S2 properly. Like he has to utilize his whole combo properly. Like he has to shadow walk in or whatever the heck the name of that ability is, and then do a full combo and pull himself back. Otherwise, if he keeps getting poked out, he's gonna lose. Top lane, I think that one could really go either way. You know, if the Garen's good, he should probably be able to do something, but, you know, Gwen is also just a huge bully. Obviously, in the jungle, I would take Pantheon over Diana. And bot lane's interesting. So I would say bot lane on the blue side should win because they have a Caitlyn and a Lux, and Caitlyn Lux is definitely stronger than Lucian Blitz unless the Blitz hits his hooks. If the Blitz hits his hooks, then I would take that lane for sure. So let's go ahead, jump into this video, and kind of go through. So right here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how he's going to win trades right here with the Brand. If he's just walking up, he's going to get out-traded and everything. And the other thing I'm going to be looking for, I don't want him to be standing in his minions, kind of like this. The reason why you don't want to be standing in your minions against a champion like Brand, Ziggs, Orianna is because you need to give the champion a choice. Harass you or push the wave, okay? That's the choice you need to give. Because if you're standing in the minions, you're giving your opponent the opportunity to harass you and push the wave at the exact same time, okay? So kind of think about that. If you stand to the side of the wave, like kind of like how he is right here. Now, I would like him to probably stand a little bit more aggressive, kind of like where he is right now, but over to the side. That would basically help him have lane, especially anytime he has his full combo up, he needs to show more aggression. And I wouldn't even want to see you guys use your full combo every time's up. Sometimes not using your abilities is better than using your abilities. Oh, and look at this. Okay, I want you guys to notice the health. It was 70, 72, 75, 62, okay? I'm going to point that out earlier or later on in the game. But notice how much health he got back from there, okay? So we'll talk about that later in the game, though. So I also want you to notice like how he's being patient here. He's not just like going up for no reason, okay? A lot of times when you're in a lane against a champion like this, like it's okay to be patient. It's okay to play back. Wait till you have your opportunity to move forward, then go in. Here, this was that was kind of risky. I don't really see the point on going in. We were, just talking about being patient. The Brand was level 5, so he can hit off a full combo, and the Yone is just a super squishy champion. So it's definitely a risky. Now here he could go Hex early, just to get the extra magic resist with his damage and the magic shield. However, the downside of doing that is he's really going to delay his power spike, which it doesn't really look like he's going to do that. It looks like he's going straight go for the damage, which can be risky, but I think he's counting on his late game as well. So right here, no, perfect combo. I would pull. See, this is where he messed up. He should have pulled his combo and immediately pulled back. Okay, but the little trend that I'm kind of noticing right now is he's pulling his combo and staying. He's trying to get a couple extra auto attacks off. Really what would benefit him the most is getting that combo and then recalling back before the Brand can really act. So it's literally just like a poke, retreat, poke, retreat, poke, retreat. And you're looking to get him low so that way you can then land a full combo as well. Because it's going to be really hard to out-trade the Brand early unless you're doing pokes. Here, this is really great engage. Really great engage. Here, the flash, I don't think he should have, I don't think. He should not have flashed there, okay? And here's the reason why. There's no way he lands that kill, okay? The Brand was still basically full health. Now he's down a flash, which makes him vulnerable to a gank. Or if maybe there's a big play, he's not going to be able to literally engage on that big play or a way to escape as well. I like that he's freezing the wave right here also. A lot of people just always push the wave. Unfortunately, you missed that canyon. You don't want to just push the wave to push the wave. There needs to be a reason. So, like, he wants to freeze the wave because Brand is weak and it allows... See right here, like, get your combo in, go back. That one was nice. The reason why he could... So here, look at this. See how he got less health back this time? It's because he was burning. So, like, if you're not going to die, wait until you stop burning, so that way you get full health back. But yeah, right there, that last engage he did, that one was okay because the Brand just used some abilities, so he couldn't pop off a full combo on him. But if the combo's up, he needs to make sure that he's not going full in like this. I also would have liked to have seen the fact that the dragon was coming up soon. I would have liked to have seen him try to fast push the wave, so that way he could have gotten back before the dragon spawned. Oh, and then this is unfortunate. He took a turret shot and then just went in. Honestly, right here, I don't think it was worth... Really just backing would have been the best thing. And all this would have actually... So that death was completely avoidable. If he would have just pushed the wave before the dragon came up and like hard pushed it, traded some of his health, because it's okay to trade your health right there because you're trying to back anyways. So now, because he didn't do that, 1, he gave up a kill. 2, his whole team is late for dragon and everything. So there's the kind of that's kind of a negative right there. I don't really think you can't contest this dragon. I don't think you can't contest this dragon because his team's just not in position. Pushing the mid wave here is definitely the better decision because you can't contest the dragon. Now, really for team fight wise, the only way their team's really going to win team fights just because of the power of their team is you got to land a Diana ult and then on top of a Yone ult. Like right here, right here would have been a great time for both Diana and, oh, actually his ult wasn't up yet. Okay. There we go. This is right there. This is exactly what they need to do in order to win the game. That right there. I just noticed actually while I was looking at his health, because when they were all clumped up around the tri-bush, I was like, whoa, what the heck? He's not doing it. And look at this actually. His ult had a couple seconds. Now I want to notice what he did right there. He was pre-setting his S1 so that way when he engaged, it was already ready for the knockup. If you're a Yone player or a Yasuo player and you don't preset your S1 or Q, whatever you guys want to call it, make sure you're doing it before you engage into fights because it's going to make a huge difference. This is another thing I see a lot of players do, and I still do it myself, it's when you're backing, just back up far enough to where you can get the full back. Take the extra 1 or 2 seconds to scoot back far enough so that way you can actually get a full back in. So that way you don't have an enemy who stops you from backing, wasting more and more of your time. You just spent 3 or 4 seconds backing, and then all of a sudden the enemy stops you from backing. Now you have to start all over again as well. So right here, yep, okay. Since the Diana landed, I was going to say this isn't really the best fight. The enemy should have backed up right away after the Diana started ulting in. But since the Diana landed, a full ult definitely allowed the Yone to go in. Did not need to flash there at all. Man, I would have loved to seen him just use the little bomb plant instead of a flash. But I get it. It was like last second thing. You're trying not to lose the kill. So I get it. I get it. Ooh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. I've been staying up late a lot. I had a huge Halloween party at my house. Oh, and just kind of as an update to you guys. So I told you I've been focusing on Legend Queue recently. I think I'm ranked top 200 right now in Legend Queue. Like I said, I'm going to be playing most of my games in Legend Queue. I've been having a lot of great games lately. A lot of, some really bad games too. So it's been it's been a struggle, but I'm top 200 as well. So anyways, back to the game. Right here, this is good rotate. So a lot of times people don't do this. Like they don't rotate to the side of the map to help their team. Like they get so focused on their one side of the map that when their teammates, so like right here, right now, what the Garen should do, he could rotate top, but realistically, I mean, so yeah, no, rotating top is actually the better call here because the Yone is low. But let's say the Yone wasn't low, what would you want him to do? What you'd actually want him to do, now they should go in. As soon as that Garen just went in on him, he should have went in right there because that would have been a free kill for him if he would have went in on him. It's not the end of the world like if he doesn't because it does look like it got cleaned up. But he could have got that kill if he would have went in. Here now, so you have Rift Herald coming up. I'm glad he did get his back in. So, with the fact that he got his back in before Rift Herald came up, that's not a terrible thing as well because if he would have stayed, it just would have delayed more time for them. But I do think securing that kill, especially because it was on the jungler, was huge. This really good engage. But as you notice, what was he doing as he went up? He was proccing his S1 again. So always make sure you're proccing your S1, guys. Here, I don't want to see them just like give up the Rift for nothing because they have a Lux and they have a Yone. Two very strong. He's fed, and the Lux just early game does lots of damage. There it was. He procced his S1 again. We just went in there, and they should be able to clean this up super easy now. Should be absolutely free. I would love to see them pull it out a little bit more, though, just to be safe. You never want to risk a cheese hit to the back. Also, if you're struggling with like killing the Rift, all you have to do is during the swing, step to the side of it. Step towards it to the side. Don't step back, like towards it to the side, and that way you can get a free hit. But you have to do it during the swing as well, okay? So here, he just got like a big kill. I'd be trying to go back right before the dragon spawns again, trying to get some extra items for this dragon fight that's going to come up. Looks like he's trying to look for an engage right here. Yeah. I don't feel like right here was a great, because now you're low and your team's low. Instead, you could have backed, see, now he's backing right now. After I got that Rift, I would have backed, got an item right away. See, now he has the Hex. That's exactly what I was hoping that he would build this game. He built a little bit later, which I understand, building a little bit later, just trying to get the full crit and everything. Here, once again, can't engage this. There's really no reason to try and engage this. Better thing to do right now would actually been to push mid and push bot and push top, just like the Garen's doing. Because look, this is what a lot of kids do right here. They just use idle time for kind of like no reason. Like all that idle time could have been used for split pushing mid and split pushing bot. Now, if they can get a good Diana Yone ult right here, that could be huge, which they just looking like they are. So that right there works. So if you can land that ult together, it works. But you kind of have a two-edged sword here. So all that could have just happened either way. it still could have happened, because what you could have done is you could have pushed out the bot, pushed out the mid lane, and then Garen could have been pushing, and then the team still would have tried and collapsed on you, and you still could have attempted to use that Diana Yone ult either way. But because you just sat in the jungle, you didn't have a pushed out mid, you didn't have a pushed out bot, and the Garen still got what he wanted. But if you would have pushed out the waves, and then the team would have still tried to probably collapse on you while you were trying to push the mid, and you still could have landed that Diana, or potentially landed the Diana Yone combo. That's going to basically be the pivotal win factor for their team fights. We'll never know for sure. It's definitely better to get those in the jungle because it's more condensed. Anytime, so that's actually a really good point here. So anytime you're playing against a team with a Yone, a Yasuo, a Ziggs, a Orianna, Varus, these champions that have big AoE ults, you don't want to fight in the jungle, because when you fight in the jungle, basically what you're doing is you're condensing yourself in a way that you can't actually maneuver out of maneuver out of their abilities, right? Perfect. This ult is literally what's saving their lives. These double ults from the Yone and the Diana is literally what's winning these team fights for them right now. So, and I don't know if you've noticed, so the Diana's doing great jobs with initiating good ults, but the Yone is pretty hard carrying these team fights with the vast majority of the damage as well. Okay, so here, pushing out bot lane, which is really good. I'd like to see him probably maybe push out 1 or 2 waves right here. Like this next wave, okay, good. Looks like he is going to push it out. You want to make sure you're having some lane priority. Now, one thing he could do right here with pushing out this wave, he could technically, if he wanted, this is called, so building up a slow push. You can technically just kill 1 or 2 minions and then allow the enemy. But since it's just the cannon minion left, there you go. I said he can leave the whole wave right now with the 1 cannon minion. And then what will happen is it'll actually build up a mega wave, because the wave will still push, but it'll push a little bit slower, giving more time for the wave to build up, and you'll have multiple cannon minions. It would have been nicer if there was just 1 minion in front to tank for that cannon minion, so you'd have multiple cannon minions build up. So that's kind of building a slow push. Here they should be able to fight right here, as long as, unfortunately, the Diana died. Yeah, I was going to say, if the Diana didn't die, they would have that right there. Really good ult right there. Really good ult right there as well. I still think that they can fight this. I still think they can fight this right here. Excellent. Focus it. Good. Okay. So excellent. So that was a good fight. I think right there the team was for a minute unsure whether or not they could fight, and then they went in. Oh. So he could have got that kill right there. So as you notice, when he walked up to the wall, he kind of then he was first as even with him, but then he went down to the left a little bit, and then when he shot out, he also walked to the left. If he would have just went straight at him, he probably would have got it. Now, at the end of the day, it's not really a huge deal, because he's already pretty fed. Here, let me go back real quick. Yeah. So he's 14 to, let's look at this real quick. Pause it. He's 14, 2, and 8. His ADC is 2, 4, and 11. So basically getting assists, but not really getting kills. Top lane is, so the top lane, I don't know if you guys know, this game has basically been split pushing the entire game. He's almost playing like he has Hullbreaker, but he doesn't even have Hullbreaker. So I'm not really sure what this Garen's doing. I mean, he is making some good pushes, but if he's going to play like this, he has to have Hullbreaker. And his build is just troll. That build is troll. What is he even building next? I mean, I don't know what this Garen... So this Garen is full on trolling his team. The Diana's playing well, for sure. She's landed some massive ults. The Lux isn't doing too well, but really he has a 100% troll Garen and a ADC that's kind of just existing. The enemy team, the brand is really strong, and so he does have to be careful right now. So he is getting really fed, as you can see. So if he were to die right now, and unfortunately if he were to die to the brand, he would be giving probably almost a 1,500, 2,000 shutdown gold, which would build this brand up big time. And the brand's already melting his team. So we talk about this a lot of times, guys. When you are fed, you need to make ample sure that you do not die. Sometimes not dying is better than like securing kills, just because of what the impact of your death does to a game as well. Fire Dragon's coming up, so I would be pushing this wave real fast, backing up, getting an item buy if you can. Always be paying attention to those timers. Excellent kill. Now you don't really have time to back up, but he got another kill, so it's not really a big deal. You got 2 deaths, so this should be an absolutely free dragon, pinging it right away. This time his team's actually in position, and this dragon is pivotal for them to get because the enemy team already has 2 dragons, and you do not want 3 dragons on a Gwen and a Brand late game because that's just or even a Lucian, really. 3 dragons on a Lucian late game is pretty crazy. I'm liking the aggression here, especially while the enemies are down. And right now, the Garen split pushing is actually very helpful. And it gets out of Zhonya's. Always worth to try and get out of Zhonya's. So one thing that they could be doing right now to try and help make the Garen's little push right here more successful, excellent Diana ult, is somebody could have been pushing bot lane as well. And then by pushing bot lane, you're once again putting pressure. So like right here, have one person go bot. Look, you got 4 people mid right now while Garen's top. One, they definitely should be pushing this mid tower. Somebody should have pushed bot. So like right here, I get he wanted to back to buy EGA, but I would have first at least pushed out the bottom lane because the enemy wasn't going to come there anyway. Their main focus was going to be on that mid tower and the Garen top lane. He could have pushed over to the bot lane, got that wave push, secured that bot tower. Then after he had the wave pushing, he didn't have to stay to secure the tower because the tower is low enough that the minions would have got it. Then he could have backed and gotten his GA. So he didn't technically, like I said, do anything wrong, but these are just these types of little things right here, these small micro and macro movements in the game, it's really what impacts the difference between wins and losses right here, okay? Here, I was going to say, I'd like to see him be looking for the jungler, especially since the jungler just ulted. Excellent. That was really good. Here, Garen's definitely doing the right thing, pushing out the bot lane. So the Garen, being as troll as he is, because right now the Yone is so fed, it doesn't really matter if he's with them as much anymore because he's so fed. Him pushing the side lanes is probably going to be the better thing because it stops them from doing like a full-on like Gwen and Brand engage. Because the always annoying thing about Gwen's late game is just horrifically scary. And then her S2 that just blocks all that damage coming in, which is also pretty like massive. I would be catching if can you see if I think the Lucian is on vision. I can't tell. Yeah, okay. I think the Lucian wasn't on vision, but now he is. I'd be trying to catch out this Lucian right here. Instead of clearing those waves, minions, he should have immediately went after that Lucian. Here should have definitely backed up. Yeah. So this is something I see a lot of players do, and this is always super annoying to me. So, okay. I'm going to just start it right here. So he knew the Lucian was mid because the Lucian was clearing some minions right here. If he would have panned, I don't know if he did because we're in this type of mode, but if you pan your map just to see which way, you would have seen that the Lucian was moving. He started going this way. He saw the Lucian here. He should have immediately started pushing towards the Lucian rather than doing his wave. Now, he missed that, but if he was paying attention to the map, he would have saw that the Lucian is now collapsing on his team. He could have continued to then follow up and potentially help. Now he's showing up late, and showing up is basically pointless now. At that point, he might as well have just kept pushing out the wave. And this is really risky as well because now he just had 3 people die simply right when Baron and Elder coming up. So if the enemy team were to get all of these at the same time, it could basically be a potential throw. Luckily for him, he's really strong. They're kind of low, so it pulls them off of it. But in a worse situation, that could have literally potentially thrown the game for them. So kind of, you guys have to pay attention to when buffs are coming up because I always feel like I notice, and I'm sure you guys notice as well, people naturally love to fight right before the Elder and the Baron are about to spawn. And a lot of times people throw the fights because they're overextending these fights before they should. And here, I get what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to give up the Elder, but man, this is so risky. It would have been much better to wait until your team got maybe a little bit closer. Maybe you could have combined the Lux alt with the Yone alt. But I don't think that was contestable. The other thing that he could have done right there instead, because let's be real, everybody in that situation are like, man, I can't give up this Elder, because Elder is a massive buff, especially if you have 2 dragons. It's massive. So the other thing he could have done is he could have just been pushing out the top lane. Okay, he could have had a whole wave push out, because you have to remember the Elder buff doesn't last that long. So making sure that anytime somebody they're about to get Baron and you can't contest it, or they're about to get Elder and you know you can't contest it, I always feel like the right call is to just push waves out as much as you can. Here, you definitely don't want to be fighting with the Elder. I think everybody knows it's kind of common sense, but it looks like they're getting some really good poke out right here. And I mean, decent trade, 2 for 1, but still not really worth. Better to just wait out the Elder because it's not worth the risk. Because if you all die here, I said he's the only one alive, but if you all die here, it's over. And that was nice. I actually want to go back and watch that again real quick just because I was kind of distracted talking. This was super nice right here. I love the focus on the Gwen as well. The focus on the Gwen was great. I think a lot of times players miss focus. Hopefully right here, they just lose their bot tower. That sucks. So as you can kind of see right now, let's pause and look again, okay? He's 22-10. He's absolutely carrying this game. Absolutely carrying this game. His ADC is 2-6 and 13. His top is 1-6 and 4. His top has an infinity edge. Oh my gosh, this is so troll. This is so troll. The Diana has a good build. The Lux. Why does the Lux have a bramble vest? Why? Somebody tell me why his Lux has a bramble vest right now. The only thing oh my god, there's no words. Why not just build an orb? Why not just build an orb so that way you can do anti-heal? Why build a bramble vest? Oh my gosh. This team is so troll right now. So he's getting trolled by his bot lane, his ADC. He's getting trolled by his top lane. He's getting trolled by his support. It's literally a 2v4 or 2v5 because his Diana at least is giving him good ults to execute on. So here he has the GA, which is great. I also love that he built Locket. I forgot to mention that when he bought it. Great item to build right now because their team has a crap ton of magic damage. Building that Locket, popping it in team fights is going to be real huge. He has to completely focus on landing Diana ults. So like right now, what I'd be focusing on is like trying to tell my team, like, we have got to get a combo off. Because if we don't get a combo off, it's basically over for his team. But he has to be extremely careful because right now, if he dies, it's probably game over. Because his team is just right now, they're playing incompetent. They're playing absolutely incompetent. Now, the one thing that I will say he's doing is he's still playing pretty level-headed, though. For as incompetent as his team is, and I think a lot of teams, when they get in situations like this where they're like, man, I can't believe I'm almost losing this game or I may lose this game. When I'm 22 and 2, they miss their focus. Actually, if you watch my other video from the other day, here he is procking his Q again, which is great, having it ready just in case. Fortunately, couldn't reach. I also love, I don't know if you guys notice, he goes from his ghost in bushes into his ghost form in bushes a lot of times. I don't know if you guys are noticing that or not, but I think that's a great strategy because then when you recall back into not being in vision. Yeah, here, okay. I like procking. Once again, he's always procking, so I love that. I like pushing out the wave right here also. Here also, like one thing that I would kind of say, so a lot of times I say jungle if you're a jungler, like you right now in this situation, you can't show bot because then the enemy team could go Baron. In his situation right now, he almost can't really show bot, which really sucks because that's the wave that needs to get pushed out the most. But because if I was the enemy team and I saw the Yone bot lane, I'm hard engaging like that Baron right away, engaging that Baron. The other thing, I haven't been noticing as much this game, I would have loved to seen him drop more wards. Like even the early game, really not dropping wards. I don't see him using a sweeper. This is one of the biggest things that a lot of people struggle with. And I can tell that my buddy Soul is not watching my Wild Rift University videos about the importance of warding as well. So hopefully, Soul, after you watch this, you'll start watching some of my videos about warding because that was definitely one of your opportunities in this video, bro. Definitely needed to ward more than you did. Here, definitely was not a good idea to go in right here. So, oh man. So right here, so let's talk about this right now. So he's right here, his whole team's backing. I get he wants to push out the wave and everything. So what I would have actually done here a little bit differently, this is all one big micro move. We're kind of having a conversation about warding, so I kind of passed it up. Right here, instead of walking all the way back down there, I would have backed, bought, pushed out the wave, okay? And then grouped with the team as well. Because then now you have all that gold and everything so that we can get a buy. But instead, right now, he's not pushed with his team. He sees the enemy right here. And I know what he's thinking. He sees like, okay, there's two of them. But really, two of them definitely not work. Especially against the Gwen, because she can just use her S2 to negate damage and increase defenses. And then the Pantheon can just use his S3 to negate all damage as well. Don't really like pushing out the wave right here. I get wanting to push out the wave simply because you're trying to stop the wave from pushing. Because one of the main things you don't want to happen is to die and the wave already be pushed. That will screw you. Ooh. He may have been able to kill that Gwen, but it would have been real risky. And see, the other thing is right now, if he would have had his ult right there, if he didn't waste his ult on the Pantheon and the Gwen, he could have had his ult up for that Baron fight or that dragon. Was the ult already up? It was just down, if you see. Like 2 seconds. If he just wouldn't have engaged on it. These are the small, like when you have a game-changing ult, especially like when you're fed like this guy is right now, you have to really consider when's a good time to use your ult. Because you didn't have your ult, you probably could have potentially killed them and stole the Elder with that ult. Now you have to count on the Bramble Vest Lux to stop the game from ending on you, which if it was me, I would be pretty scared. Luckily, though, for him, his whole team is spawning up right away. But in response of not backing when he should have and using his ult and engaging on a team that he should not have engaged on by himself, especially when he's such a high priority target, he loses now 2 towers. And then at least wow. Not only is this Garen a troll, not only is he a troll, but he misclicks a character that's not moving and then dies to that character who is not moving. Oh my God. There's no words, man. Wild Rift, it amazes me sometimes just how some players get to certain elos. Well, I mean, I understand. I know how they get to elos. Riot purposely makes it easy for people to rank up because otherwise kids wouldn't play the game right now because it's still too new. Hopefully, once the game gets more popular, Riot will make it a little bit more like the PC version and more difficult so that way kids just don't rank up as fast. And because the truth of the matter, a lot of kids are not at ranks that they supposed to be in. But then, there is bad games. But when you got a Garen who's, because like I said, this is the first week of the reset, and he's Diamond 1. So these are all supposedly top-ranked players, when you got a Garen who's building Infinity Edge, the kid just does not belong in the elo he's in at all, unfortunately. Okay, so back to the game though. So how do you come back from this right now? You're down 2 towers. Your team's playing super poorly. It goes right back to what we've been talking about this whole game. Land the Diana Yone ult. If you can land this Diana Yone ult, you win the game. Okay, you got to hit that combo. If I was the Yone right now, I'd be texting or typing to this Diana like, "Hey man, we have got to land our combo. If we land our combo, they will not survive that combo." I don't know. Okay, good. I was about to say, I really hope they're not going in right here. Pushing out the wave here, smart. Got to push out the wave. Honestly, right here, and also the fact the Garen doesn't even have teleport. The Garen should have teleport right now because he really needs to. Now they really do need him to be split pushing. It's really too bad that he didn't build Hullbreaker. Because like Hullbreaker would have been useful versus this crit build. Yeah, this full on crit build that he's doing. I said I don't really know, but they need to try and look for the ult. They need to be very careful at these team fights right here, and not in the jungle. So in the same way, it's dangerous for the enemy team to fight them in the jungle. It's dangerous for them to fight them in the jungle as well, because the Gwen S1 can basically hit the entire team while they're in the jungle, and then the Brand ult can melt the whole team in the jungle as well. So, okay. This is an opportunity for a good fight. Diana. Where was the... Oh, the Diana was dead. That's my bad, guys. Sorry. I wasn't paying... I was too busy talking about a situation and not paying attention. Nice little poke. You need to keep a little bit of poke on them right there. You don't want to engage like too hard, though, because obviously if you die, it's GG, especially with the Elder and Baron being up. Nice pop of the GA also. Ooh. I'm glad to see that he switched to Zhonya's versus still staying Locket. I mean, Locket is great, but with how strong this brand is, he's got to have Zhonya's. This is the other thing. Thank God this Lux backed. I don't know how many games I've lost because like nobody on the team will back because everybody on the team's expecting somebody else to back. Here you have 2 dead. So, okay, good. I was about to say, they have 2 dead. Like, they need to be rushing this Elder Dragon to get them back in this game. So good. I'm glad they're actually rushing because with the ADC dead and the Gwen dead, you have 2 of their main damage dealers dead. If the Pantheon comes in, he's going to die easy. Like, he stands absolutely no chance of surviving. Just one shot, blow up the dragon. Now, they need to end the game. Right now, what I'd be doing is like, let's focus, let's push. Let's either push the waves, end the game, push Baron real fast, end the game, or get your buys in. It's basically back and buy, or push Baron right away, or just push waves right away. That's what you need to do right now. I'm pretty sure he's full build, so like backing for him really isn't a big deal. I would like to see them being a little bit more patient with this push right here. They're really far engaged when their team isn't up there. So like, yeah, you want to push right here, but another thing that a lot of teams do I see is once they get like the Baron or the Elder, they immediately go super aggressive. And like, yeah, you do want to go super aggressive, but like be super aggressive with your team. Utilize the advantage. Don't be super aggressive 2v5. And then going for the Baron here, obviously perfect because the jungler's dead. And this should basically end the game for them 100%. There should be no reason they don't finish the game here now that they have Baron and Elder. Excellent. Man, I love and hate Yone at the same time with just how he can like dash forward, but then I hate I feel like with Yone and Yone players though, I wouldn't consider myself a great Yone player. I do enjoy playing him and I'm a decent Yone, but I feel like you always get recalled back to your body like one auto attack before the enemy's about to die. I thought that was going to happen to him again. But yeah, see, so the game's completely locked down. But if you notice, like the biggest things that kind of locked this game down for him, I feel, was 1, he was always proccing his S1. 2, he looked a lot for the Diana. Yone combo. He even did some of them by himself, but he did a lot of Diana Yone combos as well. But like, let's look at this real quick, guys. We have a Garen that went Yome's Ghostblade, Infinity Edge, and Bloodthirster. That Garen build it's the most troll bronze build I've ever seen. Diana had a good build. The ADC had a good build as well. She just didn't play very well. And the Lux, I don't know what she was doing either. I mean, I don't know why you have a Bramble Vest. I really don't. I mean, you could just get Reflector if you're really just wanting some like resistances. Or even better, just build Orb, the first part of the Green Book. The enemy team, you know, their top lane also did pretty bad, which was lucky for them. Their jungler was really bad. Their mid lane really good, unfortunately for him. ADC, not great, not terrible. Support, not great, not terrible either. But I don't think any of them were like at least trolling in the way that they were building. The Pantheon, because he was so far behind. So let's actually talk about the Pantheon real fast. If you find yourself in that situation, just switch to tank. Be a front line for your team. Because realistically, if that Pantheon switched to a front line and didn't die so fast and so many times, so often, and this talks, we have a video about this where we talk about champion identity and learning to know sub champion identities. If this guy had been a student of Wild Rift University, and he would have realized, yeah, his champion identity is be an assassin, a bruiser, and just kill people. But if he realized a sub identity of Pantheon is that he can be a tank, he may not be the best tank, but you just become a frontline tank that basically utilizes your S2 and your S3 over and over and becomes basically unkillable. It would have been huge for his team. It would have been huge for his team. Maybe won them the game. Let's check out damage. Look at the damage. 74,000 damage, 300. More damage than everyone else in the whole game. Hard carrying the game. But guys, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you are a Yasuo main, a Yone main, I think biggest takeaways you can get from this video is make sure you're proccing your S1, and then look for the winning factor combos, because the main reason they won this game is, like I said, win factor combos with the Diana ult and the Yone ult as well. And then big thing also, make sure you're warding, clearing wards. I would have liked to have seen that, and pay attention to like the map and when to back, when not to back. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming back to Wild Rift University. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you guys the next time.